The climatic changes started the moment man was born. Natural environment is different in different parts of the earth. Which parts of the earth will be forest and which part will be grassland or desert is decided by the climate. Industrialization has very important impact on climate because several unwanted gases are added to atmosphere which result in global warming, acid rains and ozone layer depletion. Nuclear power plants using uranium-235 as fuel lead to nuclear accidents and ultimately the loss of human lives. In 2011, there was snowfall in New York and Canada to such an extent that the people were reminded of Ice Age. In 2011, Japan had to face the attack of tsunami, taking toll of several lives and causing great damage to nuclear power plants at places like Fukushima. The cases of skin cancer and kidney stone trouble are increasing. The cause of skin cancer being ozone layer depletion and that of kidney stone being global warming.
The average temperature in many regions has been increasing in recent decades. The global average temperature has increased by 0.2 degrees Celsius to 0.6 degrees Celsius during the last century. At global level, the frequency of floods as well as droughts has increased due to extreme weather. Problems relating to human health are also increasing day by day. More and more cases of cataract, skin cancer and kidney stones are being reported.
Nile Delta in Egypt, Ganga and Brahmaputra Delta in Bangladesh, and islands like Marshall Island and Maldives are running the risk of getting drowned in future. To a large extent, the public health depends upon safe drinking water, sufficient food, shelter, and good social conditions. All these factors are affected by climate change. Climate change may affect the supply of fresh water for drinking and washing during drought as well as floods. Water can be contaminated and sewage system may be damaged. The risk of infectious diseases like diarrhea will increase. Reasons for climate change. Industrialization. Industrialization is considered as parameter of progress and development. Industries add to the emission of greenhouse gases like methane, chlorofluorocarbons and oxides of nitrogen as well as harmful gases like carbon monoxide and sulfur oxide. This disturbs the natural balance of air, resulting in climate change. Increase in temperature. Industrialization, urbanization and population explosion are leading to loss of forest cover. Forest trees act as watersheds and have cooling effect. Due to loss of forest cover, temperature increases. For an ideal natural climate, there should be 33% forest cover, 33% animals and 33% human population. By the end of 20th century, forest cover has been reduced up to 15 to 16%. Greenhouse effect. Gases like carbon dioxide act like glass wall of greenhouse. It allows sunlight to reach the earth but does not allow its re-radiation. The result is the increase in temperature of earth. Harmful effects of climate change. Decrease in agricultural output. Due to increase in temperature, drought result reduces agricultural output by 10 to 25%. Crisis of water. Drought conditions reduce the availability of water, and countries like Kuwait, Jordan, Israel and Somalia will be unable to meet out even the requirements of drinking water. According to American defense agencies, water supply in California may reduce by 7 to 6%. Effect and ecosystem. Due to climatic changes, grassland may be converted to forest and forest to grassland. Dry climate has less humidity, hence litter decomposition becomes slow and mineral cycle is affected. Increase in temperature may lead to forest fire and danger to biodiversity. The duration of summer season may increase. Disturbance in water cycle. Due to increase in temperature, the ice on poles will melt, increasing water level in sea and ocean to such an extent that coastal towns may get drowned. Amount of marine water will increase. Increase in contagious diseases. Due to increase in temperature, population of mosquito Aedes aegypti will increase, resulting in the increase of dengue fever cases. Malaria will also increase. In Rwanda, the increase in temperature by 1 degree Celsius. In 1960, the frequency of malaria doubled because malaria mosquito preferred dry climate for its breeding. Cold countries suffer from sunstroke due to hot climate. In July 1995, Chicago had to face the attack of sunstroke, due to which 50 persons died. El Nino and La Nina impacts. Due to climatic changes, if the temperature of seawater rises by 50 degrees Celsius, it is called El Nino effect. El Nino creates heat waves in Pacific Ocean. Several marine plants, fish and sea animals die. Places near sea coast face heavy storms. It is presumed that the earthquake in seacoast areas of Gujarat in the year 2001 was due to El Nino effect. La Nina effect means decrease in the temperature of coastal water. This happens in eastern shore of Pacific Ocean in the year 2000-2001. Several marine animals and marine algae died.
Out of the entire solar energy being received at the Earth, 75% is absorbed, resulting in increasing the temperature of the Earth. The rest of the solar energy is radiated back to the atmosphere. Due to industrialization, few gases which are called greenhouse gases are also added to the atmosphere. These gases allow the sun's rays to reach the Earth, but they do not allow the reverse radiation, thereby causing the increased temperature of the Earth and ultimately the entire globe. This phenomena, by which the heat is trapped because of the greenhouse gases, is called global warming, and its cause is called the greenhouse effect.
The term greenhouse effect was coined by Arrhenius, while the effect was discovered by Fourier in the year 1827. Different gases and their percentage contribution towards greenhouse gas effect is shown in this diagram. Carbon dioxide. As shown in this diagram, carbon dioxide contributes to the extent of 60% towards the greenhouse effect. In air, its percentage is 0.03% or 300 ppm. It is raw material of photosynthesis by green plants. Normally, its balance is maintained through photosynthesis and respiration. Due to industrialization and deforestation, its percentage has increased from 300 ppm to 368 ppm, resulting in global warming. Methane. It is also called marsh gas and contributes towards the greenhouse effects to the extent of 20%. It is produced during decomposition of organic substance by methanogenic bacteria, flooded rice fields, and enteric for mitigation in cattle. In pre-industrial period, it was present in air to the extent of 700 ppb or parts per billion. But now it is 1750 ppb, that means more than double. It contributes to the extent of 20% towards greenhouse effect. Chlorofluorocarbon. These are non-toxic, non-inflammable, colorless, odorless, synthetic gaseous compounds of carbon and halogen. They are produced by air conditioning, refrigeration industries, plastic foam industries, and disposable glasses, cups and plate industries. Their concentrations in atmosphere is to the extent of 282 ppt, that is part per trillion. They do not degrade in nature and persist in atmosphere from 45 to 260 years. Chlorofluorocarbons contribute to the extent of 14% forwards greenhouse effect. Nitrous oxide. It is popularly known as laughing gas. It is emitted from nitrogen fertilizers, biomass burning, nylon production and burning livestock waste. In pre-industrial era, it was present in air to the extent of 270 ppb. Now it has increased to 316 ppb. Its contribution towards greenhouse effect is 6%. Effects of global warming. Cycle of crop plant will change. New insects, pests and weeds may spread all over. Due to dry climate, trees will be replaced by thorny bushes. Glaciers on poles will melt and level of water in rivers and sea will rise. Countries like Bangladesh, Maldives may get drowned. This will be like a catastrophe. El Nino effect will repeat frequently, causing damage to plants, animals and human lives in places situated along seashores. Rice production will decrease by 5%. Rice is the most important staple food at world level. Cases of kidney stone trouble will increase. Control measures of global warming. Fossil fuel will be used in industries to limited extent so that emission of greenhouse gases is reduced. Tree plantation should be encouraged. Trees like Cordia myxa be planted more because they act as inks for carbon dioxide. Limited use of nitrogen fertilizers. Chlorofluorocarbons must be replaced by hydrochlorofluorocarbons. Earth hour will be observed strictly throughout the world by putting off lights between 8:30 to 9:30 pm on last Saturday of March every year. This is easiest way of reducing global warming. Acid rains.
When fossil fuels like coal, oil and natural gas are burnt, gases like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide are produced. These gases move upwards in the atmosphere, react with water vapor, and gases like sulfuric acid and nitric acid are formed, which finally return to the ground in the form of acid rains.
The word acid rain was used for the first time in 1872 by Robert Angus Smith, who recorded acid rains in Manchester, a place of world famous for cloth mills. Sulfur dioxide is released from coal burning, power plants, industrial boilers, smelters, and petroleum refineries. It mixes with oxygen to produce sulfur trioxide, which reacts with water vapor to produce sulfuric acid. Nitrogen dioxide is produced in atmosphere during lightning in sky. It also comes out from motor vehicle exhausts and chimneys of factories. It reacts with water vapor in presence of oxygen to produce nitric acid. Acidity is decided on the basis of pH value. pH of normal rainwater is 7, but that of acidic water is below 7. When pH of rainwater is much below 5, it is called acid rains. Acid rains are widespread in North America, Europe, Japan, China, Canada, Southeast Asia. In America, coal burning in power plants contributes to about 70% sulfur dioxide. In Canada, oil refineries, metal smelting, and other industrial activities account for 61% of sulfur dioxide emission. Motor vehicle exhaust fumes are the main source of nitrogen oxides.
In India, acid rains have been recorded in Vadodara, Ahmedabad, Delhi, Mumbai, and Kolkata. It is to be noted that all these are heavily industrialized cities.
Sulfuric acid contributes up to 60 to 70%, white nitric acid contributes to the extent of 30 to 40% towards acidic rains. In 1974, acid rains in Scotland had pH value 2, more sour than vinegar, which has pH value 2.4. Snowfall in Britain is sometimes so much acidic that snow does not melt. It is called pollution time bomb. Effects of acid rains: spoilage of historical monuments. Several historical monuments in Athens, Rome, and London have developed cracks. In India, Taj Mahal leprosy was reported. The marble has become pale and soft like chalk due to sulfur dioxide fumes from methane oil refinery causing acid rains over Taj Mahal in Agra. The whole building was painted with acid-proof paint involving very heavy expenses. Harm to aquatic life. Several lakes in Sweden, Norway, and Canada have become unproductive. Due to death of fish, they have been converted to fish graveyards. Effect on vegetation. The leaves become colorless and dry. The growth of trees is checked. In Sweden, acid rains have destroyed the coniferous forest. The soil becomes acidic and non-productive for crops. Nitrogen-fixing bacteria are destroyed. Effect on human health. Acidic water, when used for drinking purposes, damages kidney, bones, and brain. Acid rain causes skin cancer. Spoilage of metallic structure. Big boilers, fermenters, and railway carriages lying in open get corroded and rusted. Control measures. Coal should be washed before burning. fuel of low sulfur content be selected, along with coal, limestone be burned in industrial chimneys. Limestone being alkaline will reduce acidity. Lime be added to agricultural land, forest soil and lakes and ponds to reduce acidity. Addition of lime to agricultural field is called dressing. Ozone gas was discovered by a German chemist, Christian Schorschenbein, in 1840. It is formed by the action of sunlight on oxygen.
Ozone is a highly poisonous gas with fishy odor. On Earth, it is a very harmful air pollutant causing asthma and bronchitis in human beings. It breaks up the chromosomes, causing genetic disorders. It also harms leafy vegetables and spoils all articles made of plastic and rubber.
Ozone is highly useful in stratosphere or upper atmosphere from 5 to 45 kilometers, where it forms a protective layer called ozone umbrella or ozone blanket, which absorbs harmful UV rays which damage human health by causing skin cancer and cataract. Ozone layer was discovered by two French physicists, Charles Fabry and Henry Buisson, in 1913. British weather scientist G.M.B. Dobson measured the thickness of ozone layer in DU or Dobson units. 100 DU is equal to 1 mm. It was noticed that the thickness of ozone layer is decreasing. It was 225 DU in 1979, but in 1994 it reduced to 94 DU only. The decline in ozone layer is called ozone hole. The cause of ozone depletion. The main reason for ozone layer depletion are colorless synthetic atmospheric gases, chlorofluorocarbons. These gases are used in air conditioning industries, refrigerator industry, foam formation industry and disposable crockery industry. Sherwood Rowland, Maria Molina and Paul Crutzen pointed out that chlorine of chlorofluorocarbon reacts with O3 to produce chlorine oxide and oxygen. Chlorine oxide reacts with oxygen to produce chlorine and oxygen. Thus, ozone gets converted into oxygen and ozone layer becomes thin. For establishing the relationship between chlorofluorocarbon and ozone layer depletion, they were awarded Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1995. Jet aeroplane also produces oxide of nitrogen in its smoke, which also causes ozone layer thinning. These days, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa and some parts of South America are facing the problems of ozone layer depletion. Effects of ozone layer depletion. UV rays reach the earth and causes skin cancer of sunburn. About 2.2 million cases of skin cancer occurs every year in the world. Diseases like measles, chickenpox and malaria increase. Cataract, loss of vision, damage to immune system, susceptibility to herpes, greenhouse effect, color of paints and fabrics fades away, photosynthesis in phytoplanktons and legumes and cabbage decreases. Control measures. At international level, Montreal Protocol took place on 16 September 1987 at Canada. According to this protocol, use of chlorofluorocarbons has been totally banned. At that time, 27 industrial countries had signed it. Now this number has gone up to 155. In place of chlorofluorocarbon, hydrofluorocarbon and hydrochlorofluorocarbon are to be used. They are slightly costly, but they do not cause ozone layer depletion. To create awareness against ozone depletion, 16 September is observed as World Ozone Day. Nuclear accidents and Holocaust. Nuclear accidents are connected with the use of radioactivity discovered by Madame Curie, who was awarded Nobel Prize in 1911 in the field of chemistry. In her honor, 2011 was celebrated as International Chemistry Year throughout the world.
Radioactive elements emit such radiations which have deep penetration power due to nuclear fissions. These elements produce tremendous energy as per the following equation proposed by Albert Einstein.
E is equal to mc square. Here E is equal to energy, m is equal to mass of nucleus of the radioactive element, c is equal to velocity of light. Uranium-235 is such a radioactive element whose nucleus is bombarded with neutrons to produce energy. 1 kilogram of uranium-235 gives electricity equivalent to 3000 tons of coal. India has nuclear power plants at Jaipur, Maharashtra, Kalpakkam, Tamil Nadu, Narora, Uttar Pradesh, Rawat Bhata, Rajasthan, Kega, Karnataka, and Kakarpara, Gujarat. 6 more nuclear power plants are to be installed in India. Radioactive elements after extraction of electricity leave radioactive ash, whose disposal is a problem. If there is leakage, the radioactive rays spread in atmosphere, causing mutation, blood cancer and thyroid cancer. Madame Curie herself died of blood cancer due to exposure to radiations. On 26 April 1986, there was explosion in nuclear power plant at Chernobyl in Russia. The radioactive dust spread over several kilometers. 31 persons died on spot. 6.5 lakh people were affected by thyroid cancer, cataract, and lowered immunity mechanism. Radioactivity can reach man through food chain such as grass, sheep, man. During atomic explosion experiments, strontium-90 is emitted in air. It replaces calciums of bones, causing bone cancer. In 11th March 2011, 4 out of 6 nuclear power plants in Japan were exploded due to tsunami, causing heavy losses to human lives and property. Radioactive dust forms clouds which prevent sunlight from reaching the earth. The darkness spreads in daytime and temperature also goes down, resulting in nuclear winter. Nuclear holocaust. Atom bomb was dropped on 6th August 1945 on Hiroshima and on 9th August 1945 on Nagasaki of Japan during Second World War. Several buildings were destroyed.
As per a very conservative estimate, this nuclear holocaust resulted in the death of 1 lakh people. Thousands were admitted in hospitals suffering from major injuries like bleeding, bone fracture and third-degree burns. Those who survived were affected by mutations caused by radiation, resulting in genetic disorders, and the pregnant ladies gave birth to crippled children.
Radioactivity not only damaged the present generation but also the future generation. Ever today, the birth of crippled children is maximum in Japan. Control measures. There should be no leakage in nuclear power plants. Nuclear waste, also called as royal waste, should be diluted to harmless limits before disposal. Employees working in nuclear power plants must also be provided with such aprons which protect them from radioactivity. Atomic explosions should be totally banned. CTBT, Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty, be imposed on all the countries.